Hey guys, I promised a video when I got, or sometime after surgery, and it's been a few days, so I may do a two-part here. I may do a video just about the surgery and maybe a little bit of the stay in the hospital, and then come back and talk about the the post-op phase and the 2-week liquid diet I'm doing so far. So we're going to see how this goes, see how much time I spend on this one, and then go from there. Coming to you from home in my bed, not because I'm bedridden or anything or have to be. I just got a little tired. I actually worked this morning. If you don't know, I'm an IT contractor, so and I work from home, so I didn't have to go drive into work or anything like that. And I could do my job sitting down and on the computer. I could actually do it from bed if I had to, but anyway, but I got a little tired, so I decided to sit or lay down for a little bit, maybe take a nap when I get through with this video. But just want to check in and tell everybody that the surgery went well. A little disclaimer here before I go any further. I made the joke that Dr. Edwards, my surgeon, was running a 4-for-1 special, and they would ask me, what's your name, what's your date of birth, and what's Dr. Edwards going to do for you today? And I said, well, he's running a 4-for-1 special. I had basically 4 procedures done all at once, when you think about it, because I had not only the gastric bypass, which was a revision of my vertical banding from about 20 years ago, 18 or 20 years ago. I not only had that, but they also removed my gallbladder, and they did a look for any adhesions, and the first thing they did was they took a sebaceous cyst off my back. And so, I really had 4 things, so it's not like, most of them are pretty much outpatient or overnight when they do this type of surgery. You're usually there overnight. Well, I was in the hospital for 3 nights, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 nights. And but it was more because of that. There was so much that he did. I was on the table for 3.5 hours, went in Wednesday morning, and just to kind of tell you a little bit about how it went. We got there at 6:30 like we were supposed to, and then they took me into the little room where I could change and get ready and all that. My wife was there, and she was kind of helping me. Then they put the IVs in, asked me a bunch of questions. Then the doctor came in, the surgeon came in and talked to me a little bit. The anesthesiologist came in, and then when it was finally time for me to basically go to surgery, they took me to the pre-op. They kind of do it in stages. It's like the waiting, and then the pre-op, and then the OR, and then the post-op. So anyway, took me to pre-op. I said goodbye to Cindy, and that I'd see her after a while, and sure enough I did. But anyway, I went to pre-op. There was a couple of nurses came by, and one that was going to assist Dr. Edwards. I don't think he came back by. I think I know he was doing another surgery before mine. But the CNA, the certified nurse, that's hard to say. And this came by and talked to me a little bit. Both of them, the anesthesiologist and the CNA, both were really, really good about it. I talked to them about some prior things that had gone on. I never really had a big problem with anesthesia, but I had a problem with the first surgery where I was like this. I was very deep under for a little while. I'm not sure how long that surgery took, but I want to say it was a couple hours anyway. But and that waking up, I couldn't breathe and all that. So they put my mind at ease and talked about what they were going to do, and that they were going to make sure that I was breathing on my own fine before they, removed everything and all that. So that did. I put my mind at ease. Then they wheeled me into the OR, and I barely got on the table before I was taking a pretty good nap. And if you've never been under anesthesia before, it is some wild, deep sleep, and I don't remember any dreams or anything. I mean, it's just total blank for that time. And and I wonder. I want to ask them, what did I do or say before they started the surgery? Was there anything that I don't remember? Because it does happen so quickly and everything. But anyway, I woke up in recovery, and I was sore. There's no getting by it. I mean, it's surgery, and I was sore. I was in some pain, not any big pain or anything. It wasn't like I was dying or anything. I'd put it on. They do the 1 to 10 scale, and I rated mine about a 6. It was bothersome. It wasn't something that I would want to go through every day or anything like that. So, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't, it wasn't just, oh my God, this is killing me. I'm going to die. So anyway, I was there for a little bit after I woke up, and they took me up to my room, and Cindy actually got to come back and went up with me. And I believe that's right. Anyway, got to my room. They helped me over into my bed. And again, I was in about the same pain. They waited a little bit to give me some meds, which is kind of, standard and customary. I know the system that they use there. It's actually part of my job is the computer system that they use there at Mercy. So I know it well. It's how I make my living with that. So I know how some of the things can go. But anyway, they did bring me a little bit of something to eat. No, at first they didn't bring me anything. In fact, they wouldn't even give me anything to drink, which, I understand. They had to wait so long before they could do that. And they had to wait for the doctor to say it was okay. And they took all my vitals and all that good stuff. I was comfortable. I was not hurting anywhere except, I will say I was hurting in my back, but that's all the time. When I'm laying in a bed, my back kind of hurts. It's kind of hurting right now. So, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary for me. But the good news about this was that I had all 4 of those things go on, and Dr. Edwards made the comment to Cindy that she asked about the sebaceous cyst, and he said, well, that's his biggest incision. And when I finally got to where I was able to even think about it and know what was going on, I realized that he had been able to do that without opening me up. He actually did the other 3 procedures, took my gallbladder out, did the bypass, and took care of any adhesions from my old surgery. He did it all laparoscopically, and that was a good thing. I had 7 incisions. In fact, I'll tell you what, you might want to look away if things like this make you a little queasy, so I'll give you a little chance. Here we go, because I'm going to show it right now. And you can see that I've already taken a couple of the bandages off. They were pretty grody. But anyway, there's my old incision scar right there. And then there's the ones from this surgery. They're really small. They're not anything of any size. They're really pretty cool to be able to do that, and I was so relieved at that. Sorry, I'm kind of shaking the camera down, but I'm doing this with my tablet this time. Anyway, everything went well. This is Monday. I had my surgery on Wednesday, and I know you're saying, wow, what? I would think he'd be up and around and doing and everything, and I am. Don't take what you're seeing here, me laying in the bed and saying that I'm tired and all that. You know, number one, I had a lot bigger surgery than if you're just doing sleeve surgery or or excuse me, or bypass or lap band. If you're having one of those, you're not going to have the four things that I have had. So don't get discouraged by seeing this, because it's just because of having four different procedures done during my surgery, during my operation. And so it's going to take me a little longer to heal and get around. And I knew that going in. But it's not going to be as long as I thought, simply from the fact that I'm not opened up. I don't have a big gash in my abdomen. And 99% of the time they don't have to open you up, especially if it's your first time. They do it all with a scope now. They don't have to split you open. So that's a good thing. And just want to assure you that when you get 4 days out, if you're getting into this and thinking, boy, I want to thinking about doing this, I want to assure you that you're not going to have this long of a thing, recovery, simply because you're only going to have one procedure. But let's go on with this. But they had me drink some dye, and I had to drink that dye, and it's blue in color, and it is the most god-awful stuff I have ever put in my mouth. If I ever am offered anything like liver or entrails of some kind, I eat a lot of stuff that a lot of people won't eat. But if anybody ever tells me that, to ask me to try something that's just not something that a lot of people like, I may go ahead and try it, because it can't be as bad as this stuff. This stuff was the most god-awful tasting stuff. And, they poured it over ice, so I took the ice, put it in my mouth, and let it melt, kind of chewed on it and whatever, and tried to swallow it. And it was all I could do to get it down. But I had to get the whole thing down. And I did. And they took an x-ray, and they took a CAT scan. And sure enough, my pouch was not leaking. So then I was able, they went ahead and gave me some food. And the food started out with just, bouillon. It brought me some herbal tea to drink, which is kind of nice instead of just drinking water all the time. But anyway, bouillon in a strained soup, and the gelatin protein stuff that they use there, which is kind of orange in flavor, but it's not that great. And I have to say that I couldn't eat a lot. And I got full pretty quick. In fact, they were a little worried that my intake wasn't as good as they thought it should be. But I just wasn't hungry after I ate that much. But anyway, but I got out Saturday and came home. Again, spent 3 nights in the hospital, and was ready to come home. Could have come home probably Friday, but there were a couple of little things that. It was better if I stayed there one more night, so it was as much my option as theirs, and so we decided, one more night's not going to hurt me. So I stayed one more night and came home Saturday. I was ready then, and anyway, we're going to go on from there, and we'll talk about the post-op, the diet, and everything in the next video. But until then, I appreciate all the prayers and everything, and we'll be talking to you later, maybe later on this afternoon, in fact. All right, bye-bye.